Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So gorgeous. I can't believe it's still nighttime. It's about to be 7 a.m. So I am 6 months post-op. And I'm so happy to be making this video because I know that there's a lot of women out there, younger girls, all ages, that want to get this procedure done but just don't have enough information on it or too scared, you know. And I hope this video is just helpful, and I'm pretty sure that it will be, honestly. So first of all my life I've had large breasts since I was, I want to say 12 years old. Like, for my size, for my age, my boobs were just like so big, and it really never bothered me. Obviously, like, puberty hits, changes happen, you know, and I always loved them, I always enjoyed them, especially when I'm in my late teens and my early 20s. I'm like, you know, loving them, like, I feel good, no problems, no backache, nothing. My godmother, she thought that it would bother me and stuff. She recommended, like, oh, would you, she put in my head, like, oh, would you ever get a breast reduction? Maybe you should. And I was like, no. Like, mind you, this was like even 10 years ago, if anything. And it would also fluctuate with my weight. Like, when I lost weight, my boobs would get smaller. When I gained weight, they would get bigger, or they would just be like a full size regardless. Then what made me actually want this surgery was during the pandemic, just something changed in my body. Like, you know, I'm in my late 20s, I'm 29 years old. At the time was I 29? Yeah, I was 29 still at the time. So I'm 29 years old, and obviously your body changes, like, it just does. That's just the reality, that's just life. So, and with the pandemic, I had gained weight, and like, just so many different things played a factor in this. Like, I have scoliosis. Since I was in junior high school, I found out that I have scoliosis. It was a mild case, but still, you know, I didn't really pay attention to it. Since I found out, I didn't pay attention to it until the pandemic hit, and I became a little bit unhealthy. Like, I wasn't working out as much, I wasn't as active, obviously, like, and even with working out, like, it just wasn't enough compared to the movement that I was getting, like, in general before the pandemic. So I just had a bunch of changes in my body, and I just felt like my boobs, they were just weighing me. Like, they were just, it was just like such a load on my back, like every day. So, you know, I tried to work through it, and like nothing fit me. Like, nothing fit me right. My bathing suits didn't fit me right, my shirts didn't fit me right, even my bras didn't fit me right, my PJs, like, it just, I couldn't find something that fit me well, you know. I decided to think about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I really want a breast reduction. Like, I just kept saying I really want to get a breast reduction. And then, like, I gave myself like a year, and then like I realized I still really wanted this breast reduction. Like, I just felt such a heavy load on my back every single day. Like, it was getting in the way of my happiness. Like, it was all that I thought about. It was just in the way no matter what. Even with working out, like when I would jump rope or just any workouts, like, it was just too much. So a year and a half, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. So I decided to make my appointment in December of 2021. I did I made my appointment for March. So once I booked my surgery, it was like I did a consultation and we spoke on the phone and like we reviewed some documents and whatnot. Like, I made sure that time that I had like still with my boobs, like I enjoyed them. Like I just loved them. You know, I was just embracing them no matter how I felt. Like I was just like, wow, like, you know, I'm gonna go through a big change. Like let me just enjoy my boobs while I still have them here, you know, and even the size, like, because you never know. You don't know about how you're gonna feel about something until you do it. You don't know how you're gonna feel about a tattoo until you get a tattoo done. You don't know how you're gonna feel about getting a certain surgery until you get it done, you know? You don't know. So it's like, just enjoy every day. Even if you want a breast reduction and you know you're gonna get one in the future, I always recommend, like, I feel very strongly about embracing and loving your body while like the process, you know. It's like, wow, like I'm gonna go through these changes, like I love my boobs right now, you know. And that's kind of like how I felt throughout like from December all the way until my surgery date. So then it was crazy because my surgery date got changed like 3 times, and a part of me was like, what the heck, like what's going on? And I'm not gonna lie, the place that I went to was recommended to me by someone that I know, and it was like the doctor, amazing. Like I really love the doctor, but the only thing was the process. I thought I was gonna have like one lady taking care of me the whole time, like, or walking me through the whole procedure. I feel like that would be a much better procedure as opposed to every single time someone calls me as someone new, and that's something that I didn't really appreciate, you know. And I was just like, whatever, you know. I was very positive and happy regardless. And then I get to Miami and I go to my appointments, and like honestly, like I didn't really have, like, I can't really complain, but it's just like it wasn't really organized. The clinic that I went to, like, it wasn't organized. Like the doctor's just super great, but I just feel like there's a lot of unorganized things there. And it's just like, if you're going in for a first time surgery, you want like to feel good at where you're at. You want to feel, you know, like you want to feel like they care, you know, about you. But that's not how it was. But they're also very busy there. But it's okay, because like I said, the doctor was great. When I met him, like I didn't meet him until my surgery date, which is another thing that kind of sucks a little bit, you know, because you wish that you could talk to the doctor, but he's like so on high demand, and he's just so popular. He's like a celebrity, no lie. So when I met him, the vibe was just super great. I felt amazing, and it was my first time going through like getting anesthesia in my body. And I just remember them, like, he took the measurements, he like marked me, and then his assistant came. He was like, oh, come over here, whatever. We went to the other room where I was gonna, the operating room basically. He was like asking me, oh, what do you do? And within seconds, he's like, oh, you're gonna feel a little bit of like metal in your mouth, like the taste, that's normal. Literally within seconds, I was like talking to him, and I was out. And then when I woke up, I was just in the recovery room in pain, like discomfort and just like pain, I remember. But because I didn't have my meds or anything, but my boyfriend was waiting for me, and thankfully, like, I didn't have to wait for him or anything. He came right at the perfect time. I got in an Uber. I was in pain. I remember like the ride from where the clinic is and where I was staying in Miami was like 30 minutes. So that kind of like sucked, but you know, you get through it. So basically I'm in the Uber, there's like bumps, and like it's like I just got surgery, you know, and I haven't taken any medications. We had to go to Rite Aid and get my medication. That was another thing. They prescribed me Percocets, and I forgot what the other one was, but the Percocets were nowhere to be found in Miami. Nowhere, like no clinic anywhere had them. So then I had to take an alternative, and once I was taking the medication, like I felt much better. I'll put a clip of just like as soon as I got home, how I was like when I hopped right into bed. I just got back. pretty drowsy. I had some strawberries. I'm probably gonna go to sleep. I'm tired. What that was like, that was the only time that I really felt pain. I'm like, you know, the most pain was at that time, and even still, it wasn't that much pain. All right, so yeah, so then the medication, it was messy with my stomach because I don't really like taking medication. I don't even like to take Advil or Tylenol or any of that stuff, unless it's like very necessary, but like once in a blue moon. So the medication was stirring up my stomach. My stomach felt like it was burning. It was so crazy. It was so bloated, but it helped for the first few days. I think I only took medication for like 5 days, every few hours, and I stayed in Miami for another week. I went back to, like, I got my surgery and then I had a next day appointment, and then I don't remember if I had another appointment after that, but I don't think so. But they did check up on me constantly all the time. They would like send me a text or give me a call and see how you're doing, and then they told me if I was able to come back for a post-op appointment in a few weeks or in a few months, but it wasn't necessary, so I never ended up going. And when I recovered, my doctor recommended like a scarring cream. It was like I had tapes. I had like I have the lollipop scar, basically, like it's the lollipop and then like the under. So, you know, of course, once I think I started to put the creams on after like when the paper stitches came off, and it was like after like a month or something, and then I started putting my creams on all the time. I used arnica cream, and then the one that they recommended me, which is called Kelocote. Amazing. Once I started using the Kelocote one, because I used arnica first, I had no sensitivity because it was so sensitive. And women, I know that you're probably wondering also like about the sensitivity of your nipples if you lose that, because that was something I was very concerned about. I even asked before I got my surgery if I'm gonna lose feeling or sensation in my nipples, and she was like, we can't guarantee that. And I was like, what do you mean you can't guarantee that? But I get it, you know. So just to tell you, my nipples were so sensitive, like insane. And now that I'm 6 months, like it obviously got better, but in the beginning it was just so sensitive. Like the cold would just like, for any little thing, I'm like, oh. And even now, like my nipples get hard like so quickly, but not as much as before. And I'm just like, I have my sensitivity on my I have sensation on my nipples, and it just gets better every day. Like now that I'm 6 months, I feel the best. So I can only imagine in a year. And I'm actually loving how my boobs look even more now, you know. Like in the beginning I was like, wow, they look so good, you know. And then during, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like you're accepting your boobs again, you're accepting your new and improved boobs, you know, and you're remembering why you did it. And you know, it just helps my back, it like my scoliosis, they're like lifted again, and they just remind me of the boobs that I always had, you know, because they were starting to sag, and which it wasn't anything wrong. They're big boobs, so of course they're gonna sag naturally, you know what I mean? Like my boobs were really big. I loved my big boobs, and I love my boobs now too. So let me see what else I have to talk about. I actually feel like I did go over everything, but yeah, like I'm feeling better than ever. Like I'm working out again, and oh, that's another thing, I was able to work out after, I want to say after 3 months, I think it was, and it was very like lightweight. Now I do everything, even though they say like never go back to lifting very heavy. So of course, take care of yourself, take it slow, take your time with it. I sure did, you know. Now after 6 months, I'm finally in a great place with my workouts and everything. So I'm just looking forward to getting my body even in more shape, you know. I don't feel that extra weight like on me, just so like I I felt like a little bit suffocated, you know. That's how I knew. And now I just feel like light and just good, and like, let me tell you, my boobs are still, look at, like, they look really good. So I'm just really happy. I'm very grateful that everything went well and the process was just smooth, and just that everything went well, and that God really took care of me, and even just that I was able to do this, because this is something that I wanted to do after I had kids, but I'm actually so glad that I did it now. So yeah, I believe this is all I had to cover. This is pretty much everything. I'm like checking again. Cover. Yeah, pretty much all there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was helpful to you ladies. Anybody wondering about this procedure, if you want to get your breasts done, just think about it, you know, appreciate yourself as you are and your boobs, and just whatever you think is going to make you happy, you know. And if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll be glad to answer them for you. And yeah, so love and light.